We've got a couple new things happening in the household listing screen, which is a screen that we don't really talk about much in here. So I actually wanted to let's just spend some time looking at it, and then I'll show you the two new things, and then we'll talk about maybe the future, where that screen is going. I have some thoughts on that. So first of all, the household listing screen, that's where you get right when you get into the system and you get past the opening dashboard, and it's just a list of all the households. Quite a bit going on here. Linked, if you have a Redtail Wealthbox integration, you got that there. All these different columns here, columns that are actually hidden away if you wanted to add some, like age is on there, or I'll talk about some of these other ones, tax preparer, the advisor. We can also rearrange the ordering. So look how I took state here. I'm going to drag that to be after tax returns. Whoops, I thought I could do that. Let's see, let's move it right there. I put state after AGI and it moved over after AGI. Okay, let me drop it back to where it was. Okay, now it's back left one. All right, so what did we change on the screen? So one big change that happened in the last couple weeks, and I'm recording this in mid-February 2023, is we changed up where we adjusted the behavior of these AGI marginal bracket carry forward loss columns. People from very early on started to say, well, look, I've uploaded all these returns for all my clients, and rather than just look at one client at a time, I want to see patterns across all of them. Show me what the marginal brackets are so I can sort from high to low or low to high on marginal brackets. And we did that. And one of the things, though, that bothered me to the point of us putting in some functionality that I think irritated some people was I am nervous about the idea of advisors using apples to oranges comparison. So if you're pulling a 2020 tax return versus a 2022 return and looking at carry forward losses, for example, that would be scary for me if you're making trades based on 2020 data rather than 2022. You may have used up that entire carry forward loss in other trades. So what we've done is, we had another way of dealing with this, but now I think I'm comfortable with how it's done now, which basically these columns now will only populate if you have uploaded a return from the calendar year before the one you're sitting in. So right now I'm sitting in 2023, and so you'll see that the only client that has anything in these columns is one with a 2022 tax return. All right, so that's the behavior for these just vanilla AGI marginal bracket carried forward loss columns. Now that said, I get that there are times when, especially now at the beginning of the year when we don't even have 2022 returns in for most clients, we still might want to get just an eyeball, just a general idea of who's in what bracket, and recognizing that some of the data could be older. So we created another set of the same columns, and so I'm going to pop that open here. AGI last year on file, marginal bracket carry forward. So this is last year on file, and basically what this is saying is, okay, if you have any tax returns uploaded for any time, give me the newest one, basically. And so you'll notice for this Anderson client, because I had a 2022 return, these columns are the same. The most recent year on file is actually 2022. But for this client here, Anna Rundle, the most recent was 2019, which is starting to get into the danger zone if you're talking about, like, is this carry forward loss still the carry forward loss, or has that changed in the years since? But it might still be useful to eyeball it and say, okay, look, this client was in the highest tax bracket. I need to know that, okay, that may be out of date, but in general, unless something major changed in their life, they're probably still in a high tax bracket, right? So anyway, the point is we have two different flavors of the same information, all right? So that, I think, I'm comfortable with where that is. It took us a while to get there. You may end up using one of these more than the other, and you can just set up your screen to go one way or the other. All right, so I hid those columns. So that's change number one. Change number two is these new tags, this tagging functionality we added. And basically that's totally like infinitely configurable. You get to create whatever tags you want for your business to slice and dice your clients however you want to. Some examples we've had just in the last few months, people have asked for, is there a way for me to mark which of my clients are retired versus not? You see, actually, I added a retired tag here. If your company has different service levels and you want to try to capture that within HolistaPlans, you can see, okay, the platinum clients, we're going to have these phone calls, and the gold clients are going to have these phone calls. Who has donor advised funds or not, who's in the accumulation phase or not. I guess that's the flip side of the retired tag. Filing status. So filing status is on the return. I guess we technically could maybe pull that out and automatically throw it on screen, but since we don't, that's a thing where you could manually tag who's filing, married filing separate, for example, if there's kind of like an edge case that you want to make sure you see that. Another set of tags that people have asked for on this screen is more event-based tags. Like this is a client, or maybe not event-based, but like behavioral. Like this is a client that always maxes out their 401k or always maxes out their IRA. And so that way, when we get like in the fall, okay, this is what the new 401k maximums are. You can see, okay, these are my 12 clients who always max out. Let me send them all an email. That's a good example of how you might use that. Some of them are event-based, like who did a 2023 Roth conversion. We could tag those. You could create a 2023 Roth tag and add those to the people who did Roth conversions. Similarly, who did QCDs in 2023. These are all like real examples of what advisors have asked us to add to the household screen. Let me show how that works real quick, by the way. So like here's Charles Calvert, and here he is, and up at the top here you see this tags, and I can add multiple tags if I want. Let's say he pays estimated taxes and he's retired. But let's say that there's something that's not in that list that I want to add. Again, this is totally configurable for you, and so if you are a firm admin user for your company, you will have access to edit the list of tags. Let's add one. What should we add? IRA max out, which is a little weird for someone that I said was retired, but let's just go with it. Oh wait, what do I want to do? I do it like this. Yeah, IRA, I was getting confused myself. IRA max out. So I said add one, then I can choose whatever color I want the tag to be. So ignore what I was typing earlier. So let's call it yellow. How about yellow? There it is, IRA max out. And now that's available to me. Oh, that is not terribly readable. I should not have chosen yellow. There it is, IRA max out. All right, so then when I go back to the household screen, Charles Calvert, I should see those 3 tags on him. And I can do the same sort of filtering that I can on other columns. So if I just want to see, okay, who are the people who are retired among my clients, I can do that, and it's going to be only the subset of the clients who are retired who show up there. So pretty useful, I think, and pretty infinitely configurable for you. I want to remove, let's unclick all those. There we go, it's everybody. All right, so a couple notes just about this screen in general. One is, I think a lot of this, because we have so much information in here, it's going to be really useful for us to be able to allow you to download that to Excel, so you can do further slicing and dicing and other systems, other analysis. So that's coming, I think, Q1. There's no question that we'll have that done in Q1 of 2023. So exporting this information to Excel, definitely on its way. I think bigger picture, there's 2 things. One, we talked about some tags that are event-based, like did they do a Roth conversion? Did they already do their IRA contributions for this calendar year? That really overlaps a lot with the tax letter. And so I think we're going to have to revisit that idea. Probably not going to happen in Q1 of 2023, but I think this year we'll go back and look at, okay, how do we bring the information that we're recording in the tax letter into the household listing screen so that we can just see at a glance across multiple clients, like what's true for different people. So stay tuned on that. I think it's a really interesting idea. I think bigger picture, though, there's another design question, a design issue here, which is this screen right now is getting busy. There's a lot going on in it. And I think that's because we're using it to solve multiple problems at the same time. I mean, so first of all, this screen is primarily there to just find who are my clients. If there's something I want to do for Sam Houston, now it's easy, I've only got 6 clients here, but if I had hundreds and hundreds of clients, I got to find Sam Houston to do something with them, right? So it's kind of like the table of contents piece. But then we also have the ability to take actions. Like over here, I can actually upload a return against Sam Houston. So that now I'm searching and I'm taking actions on it. And then I'm also using it as a way to link to other things, to the tax report, for example, or scenario analysis. And it's also a reporting function, right? Things like what's their AGI, what's their carry forward loss, and stuff like that. And I know the Venn diagrams of those various functions overlap in places, but I think when you try to do too many things in one screen, it just starts to get jumbled. So I think what we're going to have to do this year is really start to separate the ideas of, okay, this is what a good table of contents needs to do for finding, for searching for a particular client to do something with. And then taking actions is in its own distinct place. And then reporting, bulk reporting, which I think is a really interesting, useful, and now that advisors are at the point where they've uploaded returns against a lot of their clients into Holistiplan, not something that was true in our early years. Now we have this idea of, okay, we have this great source of data across the entire client base where I can say, I want to send an email to everyone who's under 20% in a marginal bracket, for example, or everyone who's in a high bracket, I want to send them a special invoice or a special email or set up a meeting with them. And that sort of stuff starts to become possible, but we need to give you a good reporting type filtering tool. So stay tuned on that, but in the meantime, it's all there in the household screen. It's just going to take some navigation and getting to know it. So I would say just take some time to practice, get to know it. And I would be interested in hearing from you on what are the things related to the screen. So what are the things where you in your firm are recording something outside of Holistiplan that has to do with tax planning, right? What's the case where you've got some spreadsheet going because you weren't getting that information out of our system on the reporting basis? That would be really interesting for us to hear. So anyway, that's the new household screen, or new stuff going on in the household screen. Would love to hear your thoughts on tags, AGI, marginal bracket, carry forward losses, how it's working for you. Thank you.